This is a quick review of the Hutchinson Intensive Tubeless tires mounted with Stan's notubes road valve stem on some older Mavic Kysrium Elites. The Elites make a good candidate for road tubeless because the rim bed is seamless and therefore it has no spoke holes to seal. The bed is also deep enough to make mounting the tubeless tire relatively easy, while having a good cross-sectional profile. It seems to seal up pretty well with tubeless. As normal, start by mounting only one bead, then start the second bead opposite the valve stem. Tires will in general mount easier if you end at the valve stem. This particular rim and tire combination mounts just fine by hand, but I did need to use tire levers to remove the tire. Once you get the tire on there, do a quick test inflation just to seat the bead. The trick here is to put pressure on the tire directly on top of the valve stem. This seems to push the bead up against the side walls of the rim. It seals pretty quickly and it will pump up by hand just fine. Once you get that in, it's time to add sealant. I pulled one bead off the tire and I'm using a cup of Stan sealant just to dump it in. It's easier to use the sealant injector of some type through the valve stem or some kind of a syringe, but I didn't have one, so I just dumped it in instead. The Intensive is a very tough tire. The sidewalls are particularly durable, and so these make a good candidate for training or riding on bad roads with gravel and potholes. While not really a race tire, I chose to use these tubeless at Battenkill and had no issues flatting, despite rimming out hard on one of the potholes on a paved section. My main complaint is that the Intensives are nowhere near 25mm wide, as advertised. I measured the width to be 23.1mm, as mounted on these wheels. Not all tires are as wide as advertised, but I have 23mm tires that are wider than these. In conclusion, they aren't the fastest tires out there, but they are incredibly tough, so ride them hard and don't worry about flats. No one likes changing tubes while training or commuting, and these tires may even have a place in certain races. After all, you can't place if you don't finish.